Hello everybody, welcome back to the series. In this video, we can look at the matrix section. For now, we've learned how to assign modulators. Either we can drag and drop something like this, or we can right click, go to mod source and select the mod source, right? We can either use this bipolar modulation or select or hold shift and alt and click to make it unipolar. Yeah, all these things we know, but there is another way where we can see our modulations in the matrix. Now here I can see that my filter is being modulated. Let's see what all information I get about this movement in the matrix. I can see the source being the LFO1. I can see the destination being the cutoff. I have a good visualizer here and here. This is the shape visualizer and this is the movement visualizer. I've got my amount control. If I push it to full, we can see that it's gone to full. And if I keep it less, we can see that the amount is less. Even though the range is this much, the amount of movement is less. If I increase a little bit more, yeah, you get the point. Cool. So we can see all this stuff. This curve is basically the same as the portamento curve or the velocity curve. It says in the end of time, the modulation is going to be stronger. Makes the modulation tighter compared to this. So the function of this curve is exactly the same as the portamento curve or the velocity or the note curve. Okay, so it will basically delay the modulation and only let it happen in the end. So yeah, we know how these curves work. We know that there is a visualizer here. We know that we can see the amount over here. Now the amount is not the exact amount outside. Okay, if I click here and the amount is this much, if I reduce the amount here, this value will not come down, but the movement of my dot will reduce. You see, my dot is not going to the end of the end of the range that I've set. Yep. Okay. Now we can see the type, which is either unipolar or bipolar. We can change it over here also by holding shift and alt. This is unipolar, this is bipolar. Unipolar means that the value of the cutoff or the value of whatever you're modulating is the start point, and you will determine the end point of the modulation. The way the value of the cutoff is the start point of this arc, and the end point I can determine from here. But in bipolar, once I click shift and alt and click it here on the knob, we see that the value of the cutoff has come in the middle of the modulation. It will ultimately end up giving the same kind of effect if you set it in the same range, but it's your choice how to use it. You can switch from unipolar to bipolar over here. See, this is unipolar here and this is bipolar. It's changed. Okay. Now this mod basically says this is normal. Your modulation is on and working completely fine. In this, my modulation will be bypassed, and here whatever modulation I'm doing will be inverted. So these are the basic uses of matrix. You can see that how much information about the modulations that you've made is visible over here. In the next video, we're going to look at the aux source and the aux source curve, and I'm sure you can guess what this curve does. These curves, all of them are basically doing the same thing, delaying whatever they are related to for time, or bringing them in earlier in this case. Or if they are in the middle, the movement according to time is completely linear. So we'll move on to the aux source and the output and all this stuff in the next video.